Hello and welcome to Real Hi-Fi Help. This video is about audio store optimization. This is a very exciting video. I actually used a lot of effort on writing this stuff. I am not going to read up the entire video, the entire text, sorry, but I'm just quickly gonna read this part up and show you the rest of this document that I created. So you can just pause the video and get all the small information that you need. So I feel that most audio stores make many of the same mistakes, which prevent them from showing what the gear really can do. And here are some of the things that I would do if I owned a hi-fi store. This would most likely make my own store the best in the world, and I just feel that nobody really does this. That almost every store I visited has totally undersold the gear, and I know that some people will think the opposite because they've got a much more fancy CD player or whatever stuff connected to it that I don't have at home. But trust me, guys, you can easily hear a type of sound that is 2-3 times better than what you hear at stores. So I just wanted to share this with you guys, and let me just quickly show you what it is that I mean. So here we've got a bit of candy in the store. Not a lot of stores actually do this, which is a bit weird. I also I didn't write this in the text, but I like especially mom and pop stores where they only have like 1 or 2 people in the stores, and it's a small store. It's at some kind of a back alley, or it's like a hidden small store that sells this more exclusive, perhaps vintage kind of stuff. I find those stores usually to be the better ones. And yeah, just having a bit of candy in the store would help a lot. Stuff like standby that I've written here, and yeah, this is actually a big thing, dramatizing being poor. A lot of stores do that because they are poor and they can't afford this and that thing to create a better sound, and they end up just not doing anything, just waiting for the customer to kind of ask for this and that, and end up saying no to a lot of stuff, either because they can't afford buying some models that they want in the store, so the customer can get to try all of those different models. But yeah, just a lot of really, really good stuff here that I've experienced over about 25 years time. It's only been like the last 20 years where I've really been deep into hi-fi. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just like a simple thing here, like having a Nordust Valhalla cable and a Cardus, what do you call that? The old top model cable, and then like an AudioNote LX96 cable. Just having those 3 different cables that you can show off all of your gear on. Your speaker, your amp, whatever. Huge difference. And nobody really does that. They just keep the same type of low quality cables that gives you a very vague idea of what the gear actually can do. It's this information that I've got here is just crucial. I wish that a lot of stores could really fully understand this. Also, like a small thing like Wi-Fi totally kills sound, stops the flow. It generalizes the sound. You can hear that immediately when that's activated, that a lot of stuff that isn't even going on the internet is kind of, getting the attention of the router that's sending the signal. So even though they're not pulling a Wi-Fi signal of the router, the fact that it's just there and saying, I'm here and you can't connect because you need a password, that in itself hinders sound. And then when you start to use it, it gets even worse. If you use music over Wi-Fi. So yeah, cables. Always use cables. And just basic stuff like this, and this one looks horrible, this particular model, but I've tried something similar like this where it went up to about here, supported half of the back, and I'm telling you guys, the way that this thing collects sound waves, it can make a speaker seem 2.5, 3 times bigger than it really is. So you're just getting a lot more oomph, and it's so much easier selling lower models of amplifiers. Having a thing like this, it's a thing that you never really think about, but yeah. And also for people at home, I know this particular one is pretty ugly. You can find something that's a lot more pretty, but I've been thinking about it, and when I'm gonna make my next room, I'm gonna have something like this, that looks not very nice, not very good, not very modern, but my God, it totally sucks the sound waves in. So you're in, or you're on the stage, you're with the artists, whereas if it's all the way down and it's a different material that's a lot more soft and you've got so much room behind you, you just lose those sound waves. It sounds weird. Stuff like this also helps give a very different experience. A chair like that, and I know this one is particularly ugly, but it does feel very good sound wise, and the comfort is also pretty damn good. Also with a thing like this, I know a friend who has a sitting chair like this, and even though his system isn't very good, the fact that you're sitting on this angle here, it does something to your head. It's like the balance point in your head. It does something. Also, especially when you can have your feet up, it just makes you relax more, So that's a pretty neat thing. And yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff like this, which is more normal. It's different, it gives you a very different experience of the sound. Of course you're not going to feel the sound waves as much, but at least it's very comfortable. So that's also a very interesting thing to have. I don't like leather sofas where it's got a short back. It's very far from the front to the back of the cushion, and it's very wide, and you just can't really relax in it. It just feels so stiff and weird and modern, I don't like that. But yeah, a lot of good points here, really good points. Yeah, here's some of if I had my store, these are basically the brands that I would run with, to sell as much gear as possible. I would actually consider some Hegel and Nade equipment. I'd probably consider a couple of those models. Yeah. But again, that would kind of detract from the whole theme that I'm going with. So I think that all of these things together creates a very different sound than other stores. So even though there are a lot of other good brands, you kind of have to be very different, have your own distinct sound, distinct room. And speaking about distinct rooms, I would have something, in this sort of theme, not exactly like this, but I think that especially in the northern countries here in Scandinavia, they have a tendency of doing this very minimalistic, modern kind of look, which makes the sound very fake, flashy, corporate, cold, like. So if you just had the same equipment in a room like this, it would create a very different mood. People would just be able to relax and feel more at home, and feel more like a, like a distinct personality and taste, instead of these like modern minimalistic apartments where you don't own anything and nothing's on the wall, and it's just horrible. I know this is a bit overdone, but that was just like, inspiration, because I know that fabrics generally in a room, and tall ceilings, and fireplaces and stuff like that, it does really create a very, very different type of sound that you usually don't hear, especially at shows. You don't really hear those at shows or stores. And also this wooden cavern kind of theme in a smallish room, very, very good, especially when you can blend it in with a carpet, no carpet combination. I mean, that thing really takes care of vibrations a lot, so it doesn't get too bouncy, the signals. So, and I was also thinking about something more traditional, old people, from the 50s, there in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. They probably got a lot of rooms like this. My granddad used to have a room like this. Again, it doesn't look very fancy, but there's still some quality of sound and some natural look. You could have like a board game here, kind of vibe going on with some curtains and some grandpa chairs, and it's very down to earth in a very certain, I don't know, 1950s kind of way, and I like that. I think that more stores should do that, instead of trying to be so squeaky clean and minimalistic with all of the windows here and there, and yeah. Yeah, stuff like a good hot chocolate coffee machine is just just priceless. You need that, and you can share it with the customers and the staff that's there. Um, it does really make it seem a lot more cozy when you have a thing like this. I remember it, especially at work. It just mentally you are able to unwind when you've got stuff like this, and it just brings back the good times. And if you can do it with like a higher quality coffee bean than normal, and then clean it and have some better glasses, that actually just the glasses alone, people don't think about this, but having certain types of mugs and glasses can actually make the taste of the cocoa or the coffee taste very different. It's a small detail that a lot of people don't think about. And if you can keep it clean and get like a good homey vibe somehow, a lot of people don't think about that. But if I had a store, that's what I would do. And yeah, just like a small thing, which again makes a huge difference. Stop using normal power bars. As a standard, I would just, with most of my rooms, I would have a thing like this, and then when the customer has heard that, then I would put this on, and then I would probably put like a Gigawatt and AutoQuest on. It's just to give them that aha experience of like, oh yeah, I also need to buy this or some other thing, just so they get the feeling that it isn't just the amp, the DAC, the speaker doing all the job, and then the room. A lot of people think that all of these small things don't make a difference, but if you find the few different things that give a very black and white experience, your customer will kind of open up and they'll start to think about cables, plugs, power bars, all kinds of other things. You know, suddenly they'll be able to hear differences between this CD player from this brand and then like a two model higher CD player, like the huge differences between them, you know. But with a lot of stores out there currently, you're not able to hear like going from one CD player, let's just say it's on level 1 and you want something that's on level 10, you know, you're not going to hear a big difference many times because the entire store is kind of promoting a sound that is numbing the effects of the gear, you know, kind of rolling it off, keeping it safe, keeping it limited, making sure that it doesn't freak out, you know. And yeah, like I've written down here, these are just like the really, really good conditions that you can create if you've got a store. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video about this. I thought that it would be a very good idea. If I ever had an audio store, this is what I would do. I would basically turn it into my own home, create a very homey environment. I would perhaps on an upper floor live there, with either being alone or with my family or whatever, and then I would just like concentrate. That would be my home, my main center of my life, you know. And I feel that a lot of store owners should do that. They should make it their home instead of this minimalistic, clean cut thing where, you know, you only see gear. I feel that would help a lot. And I feel that not just a certain type of audio brand would be helped a lot, just like the whole business in general would kind of seem more real and authentic, and more people would kind of connect with music. So yeah, that's my take on the matter. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I used a lot of time on this video, so give it a like if you can. And have a nice day. Bye.